Everyone, this is Brad Matheny. Today's the 24th of April, and this is the Plan Your Trade video. It's early in the morning in California, and we are looking at a carryover pattern on the SPY in trending mode. Yesterday's rally really took place overnight. You can see this big move, this big rally. We had a little bit of a carry through in the morning, but as I had tried to show you in yesterday's video, this is the ES, the S&P E-mini futures contract. The ES had rallied up overnight. Big gap, carrying up into my red circle, let's call it, an ellipse. And where we're at here is this was my upper range. This is when I highlighted to everybody that, we should be looking at. I think I have it here. No. Be back here. And go back to a single. And I think it's on the SPY. Yeah. This had already gone up into my upper zone. Okay, so this is weekly. Come down to daily. And you can see here, we had rolled up into that upper zone. And that was why yesterday we got up into this high. And I realized, we're up very close to this consolidation range. There's very little upside left. If we do, it's going to be an anomaly, kind of a breakout move. And it's time to prepare for this downside cycle. So yesterday I moved up in this area, out at the open, up in this area. I moved out of my long positions, tried one little long on the bounce here. This is an hourly chart. It didn't work out. And then I moved into net short positions because I had to run out. My father and I had to run out to appointments yesterday. And I'm looking for this downward meltdown to carry forward. So really what I'm looking for today is get rid of some of these and this. I'm really looking for the markets to, right now the ES is open. This is where it's trading. I'm looking for it to kind of just melt downward. Okay, nothing too serious, nothing super aggressive, maybe 1.5% or so, 1%, just to melt downward. That's where I think the markets are going to go. And that would put the SPY, into kind of a meltdown mode as well. Just, depending on where we open, probably in this area, maybe a little lower, just kind of melting downward. Nothing too serious, just a meltdown, likely going to come in and try to fill this level, this gap low. And I think that's a very likely outcome given the fact that we've moved kind of into that upper range. 535 was the close, but really, when you see the highs up here, we had gotten to 545 and, 550 was our high. That's 5 points away from the high. We could get a little blip. I'm not saying we're into strong bearish trending yet. We're kind of ahead of the bearish rollover topping pattern that I'm expecting. But, given where we're at, given going into the end of the month and the end of the week, I kind of think we're going to roll around sideways over the next 2 or 3 trading days and then roll into that top. So when you really take a look at this, guys, this was the chart where I highlighted my catching the bottom down here. When you really look at this, try to get rid of these lines, come down here to maybe a 30-minute. We've had this broad rolling trend, this big breakdown with the tariffs, big rally, consolidation, rolling back up, back down to test resistance, and that sets up a pretty solid range right here. You can see pretty much between here and here, we're setting up a pretty solid range. It's a big range, actually. I mean, you think about it, it may not look that big on the chart, but, you're talking a 7% range. And now that we've come back up here and retested this upper range over here, I think we're going to be rolling back down into this lower range, moving into that May low. So remember, we have this move coming up, which is the rollover trend, likely setting up somewhere in here, rolling down into that May 2nd low, which could be in this 480, 460 area on the SPY. In fact, I'll redraw that. Here's the topping pattern I believe is setting up and coming back down here into this 480, 490 area is fairly likely. And again, that would be by May 2nd, which is really right over here. So there's kind of the low. And that's what I think we're looking at. Now, this would be a solid, basically from these highs down to about these lows, about 10% downward move. I think it really starts next week, the 28th. I think we're going to be in a pretty solid downward move looking for this low. And this low could extend out into, May 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. It could be a fairly extended, maybe deep low here rolling out. It could attempt to make new lows below this level, 482. So we shall see. Okay, QQQ, kind of doing the same thing. Okay, yeah, this was the highlight. If we did get a breakout or an invalidation, here's the rollover flagging. So you see we've got the flagging already. Let me highlight these. So we've got the flagging. Let me explain to you what the flagging is. So I'll come back up here to hourly, zone everything in. So here's our low coming down to here. Here's our move up. Here's our flagging. Okay. Now, we're staying above this high or below this high, indicating that we could get a rollover invalidation. Now, a rollover invalidation would need to break this low here and move to the downside. And again, if my analysis is correct, that is the primary direction that the market wants to move. It wants to move to the downside. And it will likely move down into this low, this 370, 380, or attempt to retest from this level, retest back down into that May low over here, this 390, 400 level. So it's either going to go down into this area or down into this area, 370, 380, to the downside. And that to me is the primary analysis. Now, if we were to get up above this level, remember, we then have to contend with this upper level here, which is the primary bullish range, setting up a, go away, setting up kind of the upper channel. So remember, this is where we have to get above this green level to go technically bullish, potentially invalidate, and we have to get below this red, dark red level right here in order to continue the downtrend. Otherwise, we are in consolidation, and we will stay in wide range consolidation for an extended period of time. So, got to get above 480, 490 to go long, and we've got to get, come here, you got to get below 400, let's call it 390 to 400 in order to go short. And there we go. That gives you an idea of what's going on and where we're at with this breakdown trend. I believe we're rolling into this downward cycle next. I think that's coming. I think that's the smart trade. I don't think you should be trying to get longs unless you're just day trading, and we'll see how that plays out. Remember, we're looking at a carryover, and then we're looking at an inside breakaway on Friday. Then we get an inside breakaway again on Monday, a breakaway in carryover, a carryover in trending a bottom in trending, and then a major crush. Okay, and I think that major crush could be our low. That sets up right on the day of my major low. I think that could be a major downward move in the market. We shall see. And then we move into gap potential in carryover, gap breakaway and trending, breakaway and counter trend, carryover and carryover mode, and inside breakaway and trending mode. Notice we move into this rally phase back over here around 11, 12, 13. This is when I think really kind of in this area, this is where 7th, 8th, 9th, you need to start looking for potential longs. Okay, gold and silver. Where's my gold and silver? Right here. Really kind of stalling out here. Silver's making a little bit of an upward move. Silver finally cleared above this level, the $33 level. I'm so happy to see it. Personally, I cannot tell you that, I've been waiting for silver to make a move while gold made this tremendous move up 200-300 points, $200-300 over the last 5-10 days. Silver's been very muted, just pretty much just stuck in a moderate range, 32 to 33. Finally, we get this breakout. I think this breakout's going to continue to the upside. I mean, let's take a look at this here down to 2 hours and come over here to 2 hours. And you can see, we've got the third. So we've got the lows here. Gold came down and established a deeper low after silver found this base bottom. Now silver's moved up to about a 50% consolidation range from this area here. You can see if I draw this, we've moved right up into that 50-60% consolidation range. We're finally building the momentum back out of it. So what would likely happen in this case is just like I've drawn here, we would get that solid momentum move coming back up to test this level and then attempt a breakout move. That's what I believe is next. Gold, on the other hand, has already recovered and broken that upper level right here. So gold has already made the recovery, rallied back up, broken through the level, stalled, rallied. Now we have this pullback. This move in gold should do the same thing. It should attempt to rally back up into this area, 3,500, and then attempt to move up into the 3,750 area. This is a big pullback. It came right down to my levels that I expected. Very good opportunity for trading long on gold and silver right now. I believe what we're just waiting for is that momentum to the upside. Now, the gold and silver cycle patterns are indicating a Harami inside pattern today, meaning it may be fairly flat today. I still think we melt upward and we move into the inside breakaway pattern for Friday. I think that's going to be a good solid move to the upside, especially seeing that this momentum rally is what the trigger is for Saturday. Then we're looking at a top on Monday, a bottom in counter trend mode, which will technically be another top on Tuesday. That means that market tops represent a rally. Think of it, prices right here. A top is a rally, comes up like that. Potentially, it could be like this. It just depends. And then another top would be like this, hypothetically. So this would mean rally top, rally top. That's what a top is, okay? And then we move into a blank pattern and then a bottom gap rally and counter trend mode. This would be essentially a peak setting up, turning into maybe a pullback, and then we get a breakaway, and then we get a flat down, then a breakaway again. So we get some pretty good indication that we're looking at, rally up into the end of the month, and then this bottom top gap rally would be a top gap sell-off in counter trend mode. And remember, this sets up right before the major bottom pattern. So this area right here is likely a very strong pullback in gold. You want to remember, if you've got profits in gold, Waiting for this, waiting for this. There we go. If you've got profits in gold, you really want to kind of right in this area. Basically get out prior to this area or near this area. If we're up near highs around the 29th or the 30th, you pretty much want to look to get out of your gold position and prepare for a breakdown pullback mode leading into some bottoming around the 5th or the 6th of May. Okay. If the markets sell off like I think into the May lows, gold's going to come down as well. Same with silver. Okay, lastly, we'll come back over here and we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Somebody wrote me the other day about Bitcoin 1 hour. Okay, let's come back. Where's my main chart? There we go. Somebody wrote me the other day on another platform about my comment about Bitcoin potentially heading down here to this 48,000 level. He wrote 40,000. Like, are you kidding me? Well, just watch, guys. You know, I am trying to tell you what I see. I'm trying to read the data very effectively for you. I've been doing this quite a while. This, to me, is a false move. This is a bull trap. We're looking at Bitcoin now stalling out up in this upper area. As I mentioned to you, this potentially could rally up and invalidate until we get above this upper level, 108. We're still in a consolidation range. Yeah, short term, we're bullish right now, but this looks like a bull trap to me. I'm not interested in chasing this rally, knowing that the real logical potential based on the excess phase peak pattern is a breakdown into this lower 52,000, 53,000 area. So until we get some real confirmation of an uptrend, every single one of these is like a little fake out. Now, granted, they can make some money short term. I mean, this was a $8,000 move. So short term, you make some money. I'm not telling you can't go long. I'm not telling you that Bitcoin could be up here at $100,000 in 2 more days. I think the rollover in the general markets in the S&P and the strength in gold and silver will likely see Bitcoin move back down into this area, 84, 85,000 by next week. And then the deeper selling might push us lower. But as I mentioned to you earlier, this setup, the excess phase peak pattern, peaking, flagging, breaking down into consolidation. The next move, the next logical move is the breakdown into the ultimate low. So, you can laugh all you want. And then I will be highlighting that when we get here, if we get here, I will be highlighting that the pattern played out perfectly, and good luck to your longs back up over here. Okay, that's about it for now. Happy Thursday. Let's see how things go. And really enjoy all the comments, everybody. Can't thank you enough. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me to share more of my trades. And no, I won't be doing that in these free videos. They are designed to help educate you, help you learn to make decisions. My more advanced stuff, like I said, I try to keep that to my subscribers, not to the free videos. So won't be doing that all the time. That's just the way it is. Okay, guys, talk to you later.